Do one.
Okay, so for the first session, there's 2 activities that we're doing. So Jack has a really good video where he talks about creating an airport, and the airport is you and who you are, and how our dreams go from place to place, and how it's all coming from us. So we're challenging the kids to do an activity where they actually draw at what their airport looks like, so who they are and what they look like on paper, obviously looking like an airport, and just heaps of stuff around it about dreams and how important dreams are and stuff. And then at the end of that, there is a video of some kids talking about what dreams mean to them, so really young kids, so it's quite a funny video. And then the last activity of that session is we're going to challenge kids to come up and actually talk about their airport and why it's important, and why it looks the way that it does. So those activities both go for around 20 minutes, so we're pretty much doing activities for 40 minutes in that first session, and the rest is just videos. In session 2...
Session 1, just to include, there's an activity at the end for 3 minutes where a kid takes the stage, or multiple kids take the stage, and they tell their answers to the questions. So we'll scout for them in session 1, the back end of it.
Yeah. Session 2, there's also 2 activities in that one. So we have a true or false storytelling activity where we want the kids to really go on a journey with their story. So instead of just saying a fact where they can just say a sentence about something that happened, we really want to challenge them to actually go on a journey and draw as many people in as they can to the story. Whether it is true or false, obviously they get the opportunity to try and guess what it is, but we just need to try and get the kids to at least talk, I'd say, for about 2 to 3 minutes on a half decent story. And then we go into an AIM TV interview, and then at the end it's a story slam. So I've allocated Keeks to actually be the one to be roaming around, listening to as many stories as she can, so she can scout who we want to get up the front. So the story slam and the true and false storytelling will go for 20 minutes. So there'll be another 40 minutes of 2 activities. But yeah, so Keeks is going to be walking around because we're going to have a story slam at the end. We're going to get the kids to come up the front and tell their story, and then we all, obviously the people that haven't heard it from that group, get to try and guess whether it's true or false as well. No failure time either for that session. There's also, I forgot to mention, no failure time for the first session. Session 3, reality question. So Jack goes into a video, and then this is where we actually get to do failure time. So we have failure time down here. We're going to have 5 groups, so we're planning to have roughly 80 kids, so we're going to have 16 to a group. We have Sam as a group leader, Amelia as a group leader, Chris as a group leader, Andrew as a group leader, and Leisha as a group leader. So every other mentor that's not on that list will be roaming around with the group. So we have the same process as we did for Year 9 and 10, where we have our coloured bands around our wrist. So that'll be your group. Remember, as we're piling the kids into the room, you sit there. So we pile up from the front. So Sam, you're yellow, you might sit up the front. That's where you guys sit every time you come back in.
Just on failure time, quick update. Obviously, the lawn that we usually have is actually out of bounds because of an event. So what we're going to do is we're going to scout it out in the morning, but I'm thinking we will scoot out the back of the 67 building and go up towards the building between the performance space and Espresso Warriors. It's got a bunch of tables there. If we set up failure time there, that should make us kind of have plenty of space and then be able to get back into the back of the room. Not sure whether we've got a close. We do have a mental close, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yep, cool.
Yeah. And also, this is what Lucy's been hassling you guys about, is by downloading this game called Second Chances. So kids in the program a couple of years ago, there was an activity where they got to design their own game, and the winners of that actually created it. And now for Year 7 and 8 day, we ask the kids to play the game and even download it on their own phones. But if you guys can make it a priority to download it on your phone tonight, and get it out to any of your mentor friends that they need to have it on their phone, because not every kid in Year 7 and 8 has a phone that they can play with, and we don't want a kid to feel left out because they don't have a phone or anything that they can't that they can play it on. So that'll go for 15 minutes, failure time's half hour, and then at the end there's a mentor close. So that's kind of how the day looks. And like obviously we have our failure time mentors, and BN, he's on the failure time hooter and setting up lunch and recess, so if he needs any assistance he'll probably just grab you anyways. But in terms of that, I think that's it for the day.
For recess we'll probably have it in the foyer of 67, and then Yeah, and same with lunch maybe out in the balcony in the foyer. We can't spread out over McKinnon Lawn just because they've got an event supposedly. So all looks good though. We've got Subway booked. We've got all the recess down there. We've got a bunch of new party lights. We've got Castle Dogs. We got the game plan. Goodbye.